When a project stalls in a large company, it is common to search for a specific person to hold responsible. Yet, this feeling of unclear ownership is rarely the result of individual failure. It is a predictable outcome of the system changing as it grows, a structural shift that fundamentally alters how work gets done.
Consider the simple process of getting an approval. In a small company, this is often handled in a single conversation. In a large corporation, it can become a complex chain of emails and meetings involving multiple departments. This transition is not caused by people changing, but by the organization's structure itself becoming more complex.
To understand how this structural change happens, we first need to look at how accountability works in a small, centralized organization. This serves as the baseline from which complexity develops.
In a small team, communication channels are direct. The contributions of each individual are highly visible to everyone else. Decision-making is usually centralized, and roles are often fluid and overlapping. In this kind of environment, accountability is implicit. It does not need to be formally managed because actions and their consequences are clear.
As an organization grows, this simple, centralized model begins to come under significant pressure. The very structure that once made it effective starts to create limitations.
With more people and more information, a single central authority can no longer manage the volume of decisions. This creates a bottleneck, causing delays and reducing overall efficiency. The system is reaching its natural limit. The logical and necessary response to this strain is to decentralize. In order to keep growing, the organization must adapt its structure to distribute the decision-making load.
Decentralization is the process of delegating authority from a central group out to smaller teams or divisions. This change empowers local leaders to make decisions that are relevant to their specific areas of operation.
Decentralization is a rational strategy to manage increasing complexity. Its goals are to increase speed and efficiency, make better use of local knowledge, and allow the organization to remain agile as it gets larger.
So this shift is not an error. It is a functional trade-off made specifically to solve the problems of a centralized system and enable continued growth at a larger scale.
However, this necessary structural change produces an unintended consequence. It creates structural gaps where accountability was once seamless.
As new layers of management and specialized teams are formed, the direct connection between a person's actions and the final outcome of a project gets stretched. The line of accountability begins to weaken.
Consider a key decisions journey. Leadership sets a strategic goal. Division heads interpret that goal for their teams. Managers then create project plans, and frontline teams execute tasks based on those plans. At each handoff, the original goal is reinterpreted, and the sense of direct ownership for the final outcome becomes diluted.
These structural gaps do not make accountability disappear. Instead, they create the conditions for responsibility to become diffused across the entire organization.
This diffusion of responsibility is not just a theory. It produces predictable, observable effects that impact the organization's performance.
When team members cannot rely on others to take clear ownership, communication and collaboration can break down. This friction slows down projects and can lead to a culture of distrust.
Without a clear owner for the entire initiative, individuals tend to focus only on their specific tasks. Even if every part is completed correctly, there is no one accountable for integrating them into a successful whole, making project failure more likely.
Employee morale can decline when people feel that their hard work does not connect to a clear, successful outcome. This can lead to disengagement, as employees feel their efforts have little visible impact. Setting clear priorities also becomes more difficult. If individuals do not know what they are ultimately accountable for, they cannot effectively align their daily work with the organization's most important goals.
This reveals the fundamental trade-off at the heart of organizational growth. The system has exchanged simple, direct control for the scalable efficiency that decentralization provides.
As an organization matures, accountability is no longer a natural outcome of its small size. It becomes something that must be explicitly and deliberately designed into the structure. The system is not broken, its needs have simply evolved.